Bib Fortuna. Those attempting to do business with Jabba the Hutt first need to manoeuvre past his pasty face Major Domo, the Twi'lek Bib Fortuna. Welcome to Centurions Corner, and today we are reviewing from Star Wars Black Series and Return Jedi, Bib Fortuna. I can't believe it's taken Hasbro so long to release this guy. It baffles me completely. However, I picked this one up in the wild at Smith's at $19.99, and he's actually cheaper than the rest. All the rest are $23.99, yet this one's a few quid cheaper. Don't know why. I have no idea. So yeah, it's looking pretty cool. We've got a couple of accessories up here. I don't know what they are. They all look like little cups and stuff, which is kind of weird for Bib to come with. I think he used to come with a staff, and it's a shame they haven't released him with the staff, because in the Book of Boba Fett they actually brought out that Kenner staff that they originally made for the figure. On the side here we just got Bib Fortuna, looking pretty cool actually from the movie, with those steps behind him. And in the green kind of here. He's number 8 in the Return Jedi line. Most of them are made up of the main heroes. We've got his bio on the back, plus that picture, and swiping right around to the front, we're back again. So without further ado, let's just crack this figure open. So here he is in his blister pack, looking pretty cool. He looks really tall and slender as well, you know, considering a little bit later on he does put on a bit of excess weight, like we all do in our older age. So I'm just going to pop him out and see what he's capable of and what his first impressions are. Well, for one, his articulation doesn't look that great. It just looks like a giant rocket stick. So we're going to go away, put him through his paces, see what he can do, and we'll be back in a review in a moment. So welcome back. We've been away taking his photos. What can I say about this character right from the outset? I guess a tampon has more articulation, because this is what he kind of represents. But apart from that, his more presentation in the looks. Hasbro really put down on the way this guy looks. Yet I think they still made a few mistakes as such. Anyway, it comes with 3 accessories, and the accessories that it comes with are 3 little tumblers that just basically can fit into his hand. So we've got this first one here. It's kind of grey with a little kind of bits, all the dentations around. Not too bad. A little black rim at the top, and that's kind of it. It's just a cup. On the second cup that we have, it's just like this brown one, and it's got that kind of ribbon all the way down it on there with a little hole at the top. And then the third cup is another little grey one with the dentations on the side. It kind of looks more like a milk kind of flask on this one, again with a hole down the top there, and that's kind of it. That's literally his accessories. Kind of weird. I mean, I can understand that he could just put a little gun with him, or that staff that we said about earlier. But anyway, we can actually look at the figure and go through his articulation in a way. So I will leave this on. This actually does come off, and obviously he will have more articulation with it off. But for me, it's Bib Fortuna. You should actually keep this on, but so I'll take it off as we go through his looks. So with his head wise, he's got quite good sort of articulation in his head, considering he's got these big massive lecus. He can turn left around that way, he can turn right as well, he can look down and he can look up, and he's actually got like higher neck movement and lower neck movement in here. So it's got quite good articulation, and it's actually quite loose as well, considering. Arm wise, he can come up this far, which is pretty much it, because if he starts bringing his arm up and stuff, it starts pulling all the plastic off and stuff as well. It's got rotation here at the elbow, and it can come up this far to 90. You've got rotation at the wrist, and it's also on a hinge. The arm wise, it can come up this far as well, but again it starts actually moving all this part. With the sort of diaphragm or waist articulation, you can turn left and right, but again doesn't move that much. Leg wise, so as we open these up, forward, that's about it, and then we can actually bring the legs up this far as well, but you know, it starts sort of getting a bit hard and starts coming out as well. And he's got a pivot and they've got a rocker at the ankle. You can actually see he's got a double knee joint here. I think these are Lando trousers, to be honest, because they're kind of just generic kind of looking trousers. And obviously he's got a rotation on the upper leg as well. So the articulation is all there. Unfortunately, it's all hidden underneath these robes. So as we go through the actual figure, I will take these off and we can actually have a look underneath how he's all made up. But with his face wise, for the sculpt, fantastic. For this blue that they've put on there, it just looks like it's been shot in the face by paintballs. I don't know why. It's got all this sort of dark shadow in. I've looked at some sort of pictures of the actual actor with all the prosthetics on. He does have like a little bit of a blue blemish, but it's kind of more like in the lines, a bit like dirt, or you know, as people get old in their sort of like lines and stuff, they get a little bit grey and dry skin. It kind of looks a bit bluey like that and up on the top here. So I think a little bit of acetone just to dye it down, or maybe taking it off completely and just reapplying it as a wash and taking it off. I think we can actually make him look a little bit better, to be honest. And I think the whole figure needs a general wash over the actual robes and stuff to make it just look a little bit more tattered and ruined. At the front, for his bib, shall we say, we've got this kind of armour part on here. It has actually got a few kind of sort of marks and stuff, all that in there. And it's done in that sort of darker blue all the way down. Got this extra ribbon part on here and this part on here. So really the actual main sculpt on his head is where the looks are at, because obviously in the robes. The hands are pretty cool, and obviously we've got that kind of the bracer as well around on here, and he's got these long fingernails as well, which is a reminiscence of Bib Fortuna. Around on the back we just got this kind of robe down. It's all done in a sort of like a heavy brown vinyl cape. So let's take a look under this cape. So he's got a little tab here and it keeps it in place. So because it's obviously made of a vinyl, it doesn't move with his arms. So as you pull his arms up, it actually comes from underneath here. So they're not sleeves on here at all. Taking that off, and on this side as well, they're just kind of pinned together. And then it's kind of glued to the bottom underneath here. There's a tab, but it's actually glued, and the whole thing just kind of like comes off like so. So underneath he does look a bit skinny compared to what he's going to look like further down the line, making his head look quite elongated as well. But you can actually see the full articulation on this figure, so there's no butterfly joints in there. It would be a waste anyway if they did that. Around on the waist we can actually turn him a lot better as well. Down to the legs we get a lot more articulation down here, and we can see underneath where we've got these trousers. So yeah, that's kind of it. It's a bit disappointed, but I'm kind of glad that they went all out for the look of Bib Fortuna. I think if they gave him loads of articulation and other things, I don't think they'll get the look about. So I guess it's kind of hard really to make him either kind of realistic looking or kind of like action figure. And I think, to be honest, they've chosen the right way, even though his articulation really does take a massive hit. But you're not really going to have your Bib Fortuna sort of like doing cartwheels and lower kicks and other moves. He's just literally going to stand there with his hand up in the air saying "Die Wanna Wonga," isn't he? That's it. That's literally what you're going to pose him as and stuff anyway. So thank you so much for joining this one. What do you think of this figure? Do you think they've done well with this guy, or do you think that they could have done better? Let me know down in the comments down below. Maybe some soft goods, maybe, but I don't think it would have the weight behind it. It'll look a little bit too floaty if they did that, I think. Let me know in the comments down below what you actually think. And then you can subscribe, ding the bell, follow me on Instagram, and I'll see you again next time. Take care. Bye!